The following program deals with a controversial subject. The theories expressed are not the only possible interpretation.
The viewer is invited to make a judgment based on all available information. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
First-time
Caller.
First-time caller.
First-time listener, long-time caller.
Call me now!
Hey, Fred, reach up. Hey, bro, you left your gonorrhea pills on the counter. Now, you let this be the last time that you come to my house, leave your gonorrhea pills. My wife gonna think I got gonorrhea. I ain't got no damn gonorrhea. I'm clean. I'm clean. Oh, are we on? Hey, look, hey, what's up, y'all? Look, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all didn't even see that. Y'all didn't see that. Don't worry about that. Man, where everybody at, y'all? We here. Where we at, y'all? Are we live? Y'all, okay, we live. What's up? Y'all, listen. What's going on? Brian McClay, Trey, Ferg, Big Leg, Vinny McClay, fresh off the jet, sharper than Gillette, the best you can get. Damn it, we in the building. We finessing and jugging. What are we doing?
What's going on, guys? I love it.
Nothing.
I love the intros. We got it fixed.
I left my pills over at Marcus's though, so he just didn't know we were on while he was yelling at me. I was like, "Fuck, man."
I like how you get it under a different name. It's just so nobody knows.
yeah, right.
What's going on, everybody?
What's up, y'all? What's up, people?
Oh, my Lord. Another Wednesday night, you guys. Another On the Radar. Oh, you got to love those Marcus intros. And at least this week, I got the audio working correctly so everybody can hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 45 live at the beginning of the show. Appreciate you guys. Make sure to hit that like button. If you hit that like button in the beginning of the show, it brings more people in. It helps with the algorithm, and it just overall makes it a much more exciting time. And we appreciate you guys if you guys do that. Make sure you guys are subbed up if you're not already subbed up. And we got an interesting show tonight. We got Mando Talk, new Mando episode out today. So that'll be interesting. We've got hit up Vinny to talk about Comix Pro. So we'll get into that a little bit more than we did last week because he actually went to the Comix Pro. Last week it was before the Comix Pro. So very interesting stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. And what else do we got? We've got Topps Industry Summit this week here in Phoenix. I didn't get to go. I was bummed out. Shout out to Jizzy Gillespie for the $5. Vinny dropped the top. I don't think that's going to happen. And Funhouse Comics with the $9.99. Jeez Louise.
Wait a minute. Is that a sound or did somebody fart for real?
That's
Simon.
That's Simon.
Simon.
Yeah.
Who the hell is Simon and why is he farting on the mic? Like, what's really going on?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, okay. This must be a soundboard. It sounded like the big leg fart that was there that you played behind the scenes one day when he thought that his mic was off, but he had some beans and he let one ride like when the mic was off. It was very shit.
That one was a little bit more dad fart. You know, like do you guys understand when I say dad farts? Like dad farts are interesting. Like, but the one that you just heard was a little bit more high pitched. I gotta go clip that dad fart that we heard during that episode.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You breaking it down like you are a fart connoisseur,
Bro.
Brian
Yeah.
McClay. You were just like, the
Honestly.
fart had a little bit of riboflavin and magnesium in it. That one was a little bit more high pitched. We're gonna go
dad
and
farts
dig deeper.
Dad farts are those farts where your dad just doesn't care anymore and he'll just let rip anywhere. And then you have a couple different types of farts. You have the one where you kind of lift and you let out. The one that we just heard, there's no lifting. So, anyways,
Okay.
Man, I used to have a girlfriend who would just burp out of nowhere, like this big ass like Homer Simpson burp, and I was like, it would always throw me off so much because she was a pretty girl, and then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, it would just be this big burp, and I was like, what?
I bet you still would kiss her in her hot mouth. As soon as she burped, yeah, come here.
Quick,
I know you.
Quick before it goes away.
Yeah, I want to taste the asparagus too. Yeah, no.
Dude, one time we were in I was at a church or youth group or some shit in high school, and again it got all quiet, and I had a plastic folder, and it just stuck under my ass and echoed this part through the whole fucking church.
Did you do that on purpose?
Yes.
See,
It was a youth group one. The old people weren't there. It was like the Wednesday night look for the chicks kind of.
I'll
Yeah.
never.
You never
not
tried
laugh.
that one, dude? It works.
I'll never not laugh to fart jokes, dick and fart jokes, man. Always will be funny.
We could have fart podcasts.
Nah,
Look at it, Dave's
Dave
collection.
said it best.
Yeah.
That's it. My last breakup. I ain't lying. Look, listen. You better take that on to the bathroom somewhere, player. Don't you come and do that around me. You better have some couth, cause see, you can't just up and do that and think that it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Because on the other side, be weary of a female who don't fart around you. Because if she'll hold a fart, what else is she holding?
Yeah.
That what else she ain't telling you about?
I don't know about that.
Food
man.
for thought, people.
Yeah.
Food for thought, people.
Chicks don't poop. Chicks don't fart. I don't even think about that, dude. So
Who don't?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
They
true.
know that.
Never.
prove it. I'll never agree to that.
Sorry, it's a one-way. So gotta be
So you
one
think
side.
so you don't think they fart? You don't think a girl fart?
Not in my life, bro. I don't want to know about it. I like those chicks that want to make sure there's a extra bathroom for her in the house than for you. Like those are the type of chicks that don't poop or fart. You just never know. So
Yeah, it's fine not to know.
yeah, I'd rather not.
I'm good with it.
Yeah. That being said, we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about tonight, including some news out there. I don't know if you guys have been seeing this rumor that's been playing out that I still can't believe. Shout out to our boy Richie, a.k.a. Dollar, a.k.a. Popcorn Culture, who dropped a great little segment on Saturday night talking about this, which really kind of blew me away. It's the Steven Yeun MCU role reportedly being Sentry. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, that makes no sense to me. One, it makes no sense to me for the character to even be in the MCU yet, but whatever. And let's be honest, I'd rather see Steven Yeun as a different character. I don't want to see, like, he's not a big buff dude like the Sentry. He doesn't necessarily look like the Sentry, and I'm not saying anything out of pocket, I don't think, or out of line, right? I hope not, but don't cancel me yet. But there were some great ideas about him playing some different characters that I was really hoping to see, but not the Sentry. What do you guys think about this?
What was he just in? Something was just in theater. Oh, it wasn't. He was in Nope.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in. And anyway, but he played like a. He owned like a Western cowboy town.
Did he do walking? Did he bulk up for that? I mean, is he bulked up?
I know. No, this wasn't. He looked just like himself.
Okay.
No,
All
so
right.
I don't know. I mean, they can do that. They apparently can do that with almost anybody now. But I understand what you're saying. Nobody thought, I think Chris Pratt proved it to everybody. So although he wasn't a small guy, he was just a little bit round.
Yeah.
So it probably wasn't as difficult for him. I don't know. They'll have to put him on the weights. I don't know. I don't know what else he's besides Walking Dead and that movie I just saw him in. I can't even. I'm probably wrong, or I just haven't seen it. I can't think of anything else I've seen him in.
Wasn't he nominated for like an Academy Award last year?
For what?
I can't remember. Maybe he was just in a movie that was nominated.
Let's see here.
I don't know.
I just don't. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, like he looks more like Goku than he does fucking Sentry.
Yep.
I mean, Sentry has long blonde hair and half since his inception. Correct? Has there been an iteration with him with short dark hair?
Yes, not short dark hair, but long dark hair.
Okay.
So, but I agree with you, Trey. Like he's your typical blonde surfer-looking dude that I don't see Steven Yeun being that character. Some of the characters that people were talking about felt a little bit more Agents of Atlas stuff. Taiguchi. That would have been a great play, I thought. What about also Marvel Boy? That was really hot for a while, and nobody's really talking about Janice Vell. I thought that would be a cool character if they're going to bring in, another couple of the Marvel characters in the Marvel movies. But man, Sentry is interesting. So
I mean, the last thing I remember about the Sentry is him literally getting ripped into pieces by Null in King of the Black. Everyone talked about how big and bad Sentry didn't last 8 seconds with Null.
And that was stupid.
Literally.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
It's not the Sentry's. Here's the thing. Sentry's a C character that people have tried to pump up in the last couple of years because they've run out of speculation shit. That's the honest to God's truth.
Dude.
Him and the Blue Marvel are both B to C level characters. And people are trying to shoehorn him into roles that they're really not.
I thought the Sentry was amazing when they first rolled him out, those first two miniseries, and especially his storyline in New Avengers. But you're right, Trey. They totally turned him into a C character after that. After New Avengers, he became a joke. They took this great character with this great backstory, with this great, especially the story about like depression and the void and we're all big in mental health during that time. It was a great character to play out, in comics, and they ruined it. And Donny Cates ruined it even more. Like, how do you have this character that's supposed to be as powerful as, 10 million suns?
Now, you may have figured it out, Brian. He might be playing the fucking Void.
Could be.
That would make a lot more sense than him playing the Sentry, which are both the same character depending on how you look at it. But him playing the Void would make a lot more sense to me than him playing the Sentry just based on visuals alone. Because if you remember how the Void was in that Doctor Strange Cates, series from 4 or 5 years ago, that was a darker character. So I don't know. It's
very
interesting.
Yeah, it really is. Basically, they're saying here that Yoon's Thunderbolts casting was first reported in late February. At the time, his role remained undisclosed, with the only details shared being that the character was significant to Thunderbolts and could appear in future Marvel Cinematic Universe projects. Is he really significant to the Thunderbolts? I know Richie did say that they are playing off the Dark Avengers run, and I think a lot
That's
of us...
why I think Dakin is half Asian, correct?
Yes.
Someone tell me if I'm wrong, but Dakin is half Asian.
I believe so, yes.
That makes the most sense to me as far as the character, but they're not going to introduce Wolverine's son. I don't know. Depending on how they do the Hugh Jackman deal in Deadpool, if that actually is done ahead of the Thunderbolts movie, then there's actually some groundwork for Dakin to be in the movie.
Yeah.
But all the other Thunderbolts, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, you look at an Asian character and you try to put it in that same box. I guess there was an Agent of Atlas character that was a Thunderbolt that I'm not familiar with, but the only one that looks like that was in there was Dakin.
Yeah, for sure. Exploding suns, yes, exploding suns. 10 million exploding suns, which is much more powerful. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see what happens, but this is some interesting stuff. I just don't see it. I don't see it at all. And You never know, though. Here's the thing: have you guys been seeing all the talk about how terrible the numbers are for Ant-Man right now, and how
it's the worst movie I've ever watched.
You didn't like it at all?
Everyone thought I was joking. It was the literal. I've almost walked out of it twice. It was so irredeemable to me. No, who were the characters in the fucking Quantum Zone? Can anybody name any of those 4 characters that were literally in the movie more than Paul Rudd was?
Yeah.
Quagmire.
It was just
Quagmire.
Giggity.
It wasn't Quagmire.
Giggity.
I don't know. It was just a bad movie. Kang, in my opinion, the Kang deal is not going to work. I'm not going to spend money to go watch Kang as of right now. Something crazy has to happen in Loki season 2 for me to care about Kang going forward, because watching him cry and grovel like he did that whole movie, and that's supposed to be the baddest iteration of Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah, they messed up there.
That ain't.
Well, did you see that the writer of that and the showrunner, who's also doing what's the Avengers Kang Dynasty? He's also writing those. He came out and basically, said how much he messed up, and he realizes how much he messed up and all this stuff. And he's taken a lot of heat. And this is the guy that's writing the movie, for the Avengers movies, which involve Kang. So they're taking a huge amount of heat for this, and now they're throwing in the fact that there's a ton of recent failures in Marvel, right? The amount of failures over the last 2 years, 3 years outweighs the positives by far, by a ton. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
The biggest week drop that Marvel has ever had was Ant-Man.
Yep.
The
70
biggest.
million, right?
So
I'm
not the only one who thought it was just a giant pile and steaming of shit. And everyone's like, "Oh man, if you make fun of these movies, you're going to stop making them." Well, I'm going to stop paying for them. I'm going to start talking about how bad they are still, and I'm not going to go pay to go watch these fucking. Love and Thunder, I didn't think you could get a worse movie, and then I walked in and saw fucking Quantumania, the Ant-Man deal.
Love and Thunder was a lot better. That's sadly.
Really?
Wow.
I don't look at it that way. That's surprising, man. I agree with you that Ant-Man wasn't as good as as we all thought it was going to be, but I don't think it was as bad as Love and Thunder, man. I thought Love and Thunder was just a waste, a complete waste.
The ending of Ant-Man was so fucking lazy, where the giant ants come and attack.
Yeah.
It's literally, who wrote it? Someone had to, Kevin Feige had to be like, "Yo, that's a great idea. Let's have these fucking weird cosmic ants show up at the end and fight Kang and do all this other shit." It was just not
But that's why word on the street is that Feige is stepping down. Like it's a lot of heat. He's taking a lot of heat.
Is he stepping down or is he stepping up? A lot of people are saying he's stepping up to not only head Marvel, but head all of the Disney projects, which includes Marvel, Star Wars, all Fox, all of it. So
I don't know. We'll see. Time tells all tales.
Yeah.
The guy who wrote this script was Jeff Loveness. I'm just looking at an article that says he was surprised by the bad reviews.
Oh, very surprised.
He was surprised.
Yeah.
You know, wait a minute. You know what kind of got me just right here? Uniform 13 said, "Come on, McClay, there are no more white men in these movies. Race swap to black now, old, or I guess swap to Asian genius level for Marvel." Is that what the common census is? Is that they thinking that Marvel is just switching to now, I guess, black characters or Asian characters? I mean, because I don't understand the comment.
Female to male.
I don't think he was trying to be racist in the comment, but I really want to understand that comment.
Oh, definitely. I think that's definitely the thought. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people. I think that's kind of, at least this is just me, and I could be way off on this, but I think when a lot of people give the term Marvel going woke, right, and this and that, or all these things going woke, I think that's what they're talking about, where they're they're changing from male to female, or changing to different races to more minority rather than white males, or that type of thing. I definitely think that's what a lot of people think. If you see what's going on with the Peter Pan stuff that just came out, where that's very evident in the Peter Pan live action, it's very evident in the Little Mermaid live action stuff. And it's very evident in the Marvel Universe, I think, too. But on top of it, the problem with it is, and it wouldn't be a problem if those things were good. I'm telling you right now, I don't think people would bring it up as much if everything was good. The problem is all these things are terrible. If you look at the reviews of Little Mermaid, they are so bad. People are saying it is horrible. And look at what people are talking about Marvel stuff. And it really does suck, because you saw the effect.
I have not heard about Little Mermaid sucking. I've heard a lot of people saying that they should keep Ariel white, or mad about because of the color, or whatever the case may be. I've heard that piece, but I haven't heard about the movie suck because it ain't out yet. But on the flip side,
but people, it isn't out, but there are reviewers that have seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, here's a perfect. I think I brought it up last week, but do you remember when Twitter fucking blew up and got angry because Danny Rand was cast as a blonde guy for the Netflix series? Do you remember the backlash? And everyone's like, well, that should be an Asian character. It was stolen and from this and that. What did they do? Marvel 2 years later fucking basically had Danny Rand just disappear and created Swordmaster to take his place because of the fucking backlash.
Yeah.
Disney Marvel did that because the people on Twitter got mad that a legacy character was being cast as a legacy character, and they changed the whole character going forward because people got mad on Twitter. So Marvel's 100% doing shit like this. Here's the thing. We've always talked about this. Diversity needs to happen in these movies. Everybody needs to be represented. But at the same point in time, there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. I mean, could you imagine if they had a fucking White Panther?
They got one.
Yeah, but it's not a white. It's a white suit, right? But is it a white guy that's doing it?
White Wolf, Sebastian Stan.
Yeah.
Here's another perfect example. Do you know the Native American girl on Yellowstone is fucking Chinese? Has zero Native American in her?
I heard that. Yeah,
she lied about it. She lied about it and said she was Cherokee. The Cherokee tribe said the fuck she's not, and yet she's the Native American representation on Yellowstone. Just a big fuck you to my people, to be honest with you. But do you see anybody fucking throwing fits about it on Twitter or this and that? No. It's crazy. I
mean, it ain't the only person that's out here lying about, they people. I mean, I think that, the thing is that, what we have to do, and I did see about this, like, I guess Tinkerbell is a black girl now. Am I clear on this, what I'm looking at, right?
It says fans aren't happy with what they see, judging from the likes to dislikes ratio, as Peter Pan and Wendy trailer currently has 63,000 dislikes to 18,000 likes.
Wow.
Yeah. It's more of the same over at IGN YouTube channel, which has 11,000 dislikes to 1.7 thousand likes. And here's the trailer. If you guys want to watch it, we can watch it. But it's interesting. I don't know if
is that chick playing Peter Pan?
I mean, like, that's what I'm trying to understand. So
is that a fucking girl playing Peter Pan?
Bro, play the trailer, bro.
Let's see.
Hey, guys.
No, the dude's like a little boy, right?
There was a white guy playing the Indian dude on Short Circuit when we were kids, and
yeah, you're right.
Have you ever watched a 50s or 60s Western?
Hey, let me tell you something. I found that out. I found that out way after, and I was like, "He's not Indian."
All right, here we go.
I don't know why it's a late reaction to that. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
How did you come to Neverland?
Michael! John! Lost boys.
Every last one of us.
But you're not all boys. So? What is this place?
It's home.
Peter found it. Just like he found all of us.
It's like he found me. Peter Pan?
Were you expecting someone else?
What do you say, boys? You ready for an adventure? It looks very far away.
It's closer than you think.
It looks fucking good. I mean, it looks really good.
Right.
Of my love. Perhaps I don't want to grow up. Hold the past in your heart, but where you go from here, it's up to you.
Wendy, Moira, Angela, darling. Where is Peter Pan?
Okay, so I had to take a second. So I guess the girl that's playing Tinkerbell is one of the daughters from Blackish. That's Yara Shahidi, who is biracial, I believe. I think she's white and black or something.
Do you think that there's a lot of pushback because Peter Pan isn't white?
I'm thinking that's where the pushback is, because the little piece that I seen with Tinkerbell is not a thing. But who knows what color Peter Pan is? Like, who was Peter Pan? Peter Pan, nobody knew that Peter Pan was white or whatever. You knew he wasn't black. Or at least they didn't show up as Jerome Pan. I mean, Jermaine Pan. You know what I'm saying?
Hair in the,
yeah, he had red hair
in the cartoon from like 60, whatever when the cartoon movie was
originally made. Peter Pan was played by a woman to begin with, so that's the crazy thing a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
One more time, what did you say?
In the original versions of Peter Pan that were played on the stage, but the book came out first, but then they went to the stage. Mm-hmm. It was always played by a female. The boy was, even though it was a boy in the thing. Listen, it's coming up more and more often, right? It's movie after movie, and then it's more anger or distrust or disgust, whatever you want to call it, about what these big companies, these big movie companies are doing with classic IPs, right? And what I mean by that is I could care less about this stuff, but there's people that grew up loving Peter Pan so much based on what Peter Pan always has been. There's people that grew up loving Little Mermaid so much based on what the Little Mermaid has been. You know what I mean? And I think that's the biggest part, is that this is such a big part of a lot of people's childhood. I could care less, to be honest. I could care less about any of this Disney stuff. But I understand if, sometimes we talk about it in the comics. We talk about what happened with John Kent, and how they changed what the original John Kent was all about and what we really loved by the character. And it wasn't because they made him gay that we were so mad. It's because they changed everything about the character that we fell in love with. So I can understand where people are mad because they're changing the stories and the characters that they originally fell in love with. But I also look at it like you were talking about earlier, Marcus, when we first saw the previews of Little Mermaid, where you saw all these young black girls that were just couldn't believe what they were seeing on the screen, that they were represented, and how it was creating a new love, for new children.
Let me say this. My daughter, when she saw the trailer, and when she saw the Little Mermaid trailer, the first thing that came out of her mouth was, "Mommy, Daddy, that girl looks like me." And she teared up and she was emotional because, unfortunately for years, that is, that's how it was presented to them. These, kids of color there wasn't options. So, so when they see these options, these things are kind of a thing. So I'm not saying that I fully agree. What I think my last comment was when we talked about this initially, and we kind of move on because I don't want to turn it into like a race war or anything like that. But what I will say is that it needs more characters that are built specifically for.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Instead of taking something and
Kamala Khan,
and
perfect example.
Yeah, like Kamala Khan is a perfect example where, you know, you knew out the gate exactly who she was, but they're not switching her up in the 9th inning. You know what I'm saying? To be
we all knew she was an Inhuman straight out the gate.
Yeah, there you go. However you want, whatever help you sleep at night. I'm just saying, like, you knew what it was. So, like with the Black Panthers, the Jon Stewarts, the Miles Moraleses, you know what I'm saying? Those kind of names, you know what I'm saying? Even with, you know, the Marvels, you got, you know, Photon, and then you got Miss Marvel, and then you got the Captain Marvel. I mean, I like the way that they're setting it up. And, you know, and it's like this person was always this out the gate. So I'm not saying I have a problem with them switching up, because I knew some people that said they wanted to see Michael B. Jordan be Superman. I was totally against that. I think he can be Steel, but not be Superman, or be the Superman from another, you know, Earth. Like, you know, like how I think what's the Superman? Is it Earth? Whatever 23 or whatever? Yeah, that one. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, like that, make that version of a Superman to tell that story instead of saying the new Superman is now, you know, Clark Jenkins.
But
like, you know, like we don't, you know, it that's where it becomes to be a thing. And now you get all this stuff. I'm not mad at Tinkerbell being a different color, though. I'm not mad at that.
That's a cartoon character. I don't understand how people can get mad about cartoon characters. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's a fairy. What color are fairies? Are they white?
Right.
No.
But that's my point with even Little Mermaid. Like, they got Melissa McCarthy playing the octopus lady in Little Mermaid. Ursula. They got Melissa McCarthy playing Ursula. Ursula was purple. Shouldn't that have been Lizzo? You know what I'm saying? If you just want to make it all make sense. Wow, that's funny. Why does it only matter in comics, Marcus? I'm not saying it doesn't matter anywhere else. I'm just giving you the other side. I'm just giving you the 2 and 2
conversation, right? Yep.
The conversation is just a conversation that needs to be had. Like here's a great example, just to make it all make sense, so we can move on. I don't want to make this that. My son, yesterday was on the bus. Now, mind you, I live in a predominantly white area of Houston. And my son was on the bus yesterday and got called a derogatory word. That the same word, we already know what it is. He literally got called that. And when he asked the kid to repeat it, he said, "Oh no, I said knitter." Like, you know, like when you're knitting. I said,
did he
knitter.
punch him in the mouth?
No, not at all. My son is
good for him.
My son is cool, calm, and collective. He was just like, you know, Clark can't tell you stupid. Yeah. So, and I thought about it though. I thought about it, Chad. I did. So anyway, but my son did not respond in a negative manner. He just said, "Hey, repeat that. What did you say?" And the dude didn't say it because he knew that he had said something crazy. Now, my son could have flew smooth off the handle and literally beat this kid's ass, like straight up out the gate. But I have trained my son that there are people in the world that just will simply, I mean, this is just what we're against. They're gonna be mad at what you do. They're mad at your skin color. I said, this stuff is taught at home. It's not taught anywhere else. And these are the same people that don't want to embrace change. What they do, they look at this and say, well, Ariel was white. No, Ariel is a cartoon. Period. Ariel is a cartoon. And, you know, if we're going by skin color, then Melissa McCarthy, it should be a black person playing Ursula. If we're going by skin color, because she was purple. You know, what is purple? You know what I'm saying? But we're not doing that. It is what it is. Now, do I think that old girl was the perfect person to play Little Mermaid? I don't know. Time is going to tell that story. But what I do know is that it needs just more representation, period. Go ahead, Trey. I'm sorry. I'm taking
No, dude. The fact, that's what I was going to say. Like, we shouldn't have to get off this topic. We got multiple people, different races and different backgrounds inside this podcast right now, and we're having an adult conversation. I don't think anyone's offended. I don't think anybody should be offended because these are the conversations that men should be having without getting upset. Everything that Marcus said, 100% legit. I get it. I mean, there's a bunch of shit that we got to fix. And there's having these conversations with everyone talking about like this Dev Patel deal. I mean, where are you at on that? Where are you at on that, Vinny?
I don't know. I mean, to be honest,
would you be more willing to go watch a Fantastic Four movie with Dev Patel as a lead as opposed to someone else?
Personally, I don't think so. I think, I think typically I would probably kind of be on the side of what they're, how they're represented in the comics. Like that's how they're represented in the film. So I think it works in certain situations, like we've spoken about before with Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Cage, that actually worked very well. But I guess we just have to see how it would play out. But
the question is, why did it work well, Vinny? Why did Samuel L. work so well for Nick Fury? Can anybody answer
Great
that?
question. Because did it work well? Did it work well because of the great acting and the great writing, or did it work well because he was made to look like that in the comics before the movie?
Battle Scars.
Yeah,
there was a African American version of Nick Fury.
They
Battle
actually
Scars 2.
They actually made like the artist Bryan Hitch that did the Ultimate stuff where he wanted Nick Fury to look like Samuel L. Jackson, and that's why they cast Samuel L. Jackson as that role because he drew him like that. So
here, I want to say one last thing, B. When it comes to what is the worst comic book movie of the last 20 years that most people
Fantastic
100%
Four.
say. Okay, and what did they do in that movie that was a change? They had Michael B. Jordan play Human Torch, right?
Was there uproar about that at the time? I can't remember.
No, because Michael B. Jordan, I mean, he's god tier actor.
Yeah.
At his age, I don't know anybody who's as good or accomplished of an actor as he is.
I
But
think
at the
there
same point in time, to make Johnny and Sue Storm, to change that dynamic just for the sake of diversity, and that's exactly what they did it for, it failed, and it failed miserably.
Yeah.
I think there was more uproar about Michael B. Jordan being called corny this week than anything else.
By that girl you went to high school with, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't even
He checked her
her.
ass.
No, but it wasn't her. It was somebody else that did the interview with her. She just said that we made fun of his name in school, but he was picking her out clearly. But and mind you, she's a very popular radio personality, so they all came out okay. It's not even a thing.
Yeah, if anybody hadn't seen the clip, he's being interviewed on the red carpet, and I guess the interviewer had gone to high school with him, and she's asking a question about the new film, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm corny, right?" Like something like that. So he's referencing like an old podcast where they talked about him, and he's trying to say that I was corny, like you think I was corny back then, but now look at me. But it turns out she wasn't even the one who said it. So it was like a whole uproar this past week about it.
Because the one who said it came out, and the one who said it came out and said, "No, I said it, not her." Yeah.
Everybody needs to check out that Don Toliver deluxe album this week too.
Yeah, congrats on that,
Got some fire
Marcus.
on there.
Yeah, man, that was really cool to see that. He was the cover boy on the Spotify playlist, right?
Yeah, Don. So we, me and Vinny, my guy Vinny, we set out and got the Don Toliver project, Lovesick. If you can, y'all go check it out, go stream it. Let's try to get it to number one. The artist that I represent, his name is Tisa Korean. He has a song with Don called "Go Down." And Don's record is actually really cool. It has a bunch of people on it: WizKid, Tisa, Caliucci. I think this deluxe just came out. Travis is on it. Tizo Touchdown. Yeah, you go to Rap Caviar. Don is on there, and if you go down a little bit, you'll see where it says "Go Down" and Tisa Korean. Scroll down just a little. It's somewhere down there. There it is, right there, right under there. Schmunk. Right under Yeet.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah. That's the song. I need everybody to go listen to that song. Thank y'all so much.
And it's fire too.
Yeah, it's a dope.
It was trash, and it's a good song.
It's a dope song. Now, Bryan, Marcus, while we're on the subject, is he Korean?
Yeah, so you know what happened was, yes, actually he is Korean. He's no, so the name Tisa Korean, guys, listen. So he likes anime, and he loves the Korean flag, like the look of the flag. And that's so, you know, it's like this new generation of kids is just they're so artsy fartsy.
South or North, by the way? Which flag is he a fan of?
My buddy used to always ask me that back in college. I don't even Korean, but he's asking.
Whichever one that ain't talking about the communists, that's the one he likes. And then Tisa,
the one that looks like a Pepsi symbol.
Yeah, and Tisa, of course, is the clothing guy. Tisa, whatever his name is, and so he just put them together, and it just worked for him. So
no, but I'm just joking. But for real, this is actually like that record is, in my opinion, the best record on that album. And I think a lot of other people would agree.
Appreciate it, man. We appreciate all the support, guys. Like if y'all go check it out, let's make it number one. Go down.
If anybody's looking, you know, just check the credits on Spotify. You know, check it out.
And you got to see that Tissa kid he does some dance shit that is worth watching and alone. Like he'll jump on shit at like the hotel and start doing crazy shit. And he's
in a Spider-Man costume.
Yeah. He moves like it's all he looked like he's triple jointed and shit the way that he moves. Yeah. It's actually entertaining to watch. And he looks like he has fun too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can tell he doesn't seem like he's that serious. Like you can tell he's there to have some fun.
And if you want to watch the movie is out on Amazon Prime right now. It's a 13-minute movie. Just pull up Don Toliver Lovesick. You can see Tisa dancing in the movie. He's in the movie in a couple of places. It's like a little 1970 blaxploitation film, and it plays most of the songs that are on the album. It's a great project, man. It's a conceptual album. If you like good music. It's not like it's not like hip hop, like people rapping and attacking shit. It's like this is some riding on you. It's like driving down Malibu music. It's a dope ass record. Y'all go check it out.
Tolliver's voice is so unique. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's that bass that he has, but it's still smooth.
Yeah,
he's like this time period's Dream, but better.
That is a great example.
Yeah,
that is a good example.
I listened to it. It's good.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! Man, we'll put the link to the to whatever album or link you want me to put, Marcus. I'll put that in the description.
Man, just go down. Just go down. We appreciate
it. I want to talk about a couple interesting things real quick. This was a shout out to Lefteros on IG. I love his content that he puts out. He's working with Cover Price, our boys over at Cover Price, and he does a good job about just putting little bite-sized content about, you know, new comic book day and FOCs and some of the good stuff coming out. This was on the FOC list this last week, and it's Deadpool number 5, and people are talking about it because it's got the re-intro of Cletus Cassidy as a new symbiote called the Extremebiite Carnage, right? And it sounds so ridiculous, and it's getting so old, and I think this kind of reminds me of like what Donny Cates was doing with Hulk and with Null and Venom, and like there's all these, you just keep like adding to these things, and they're getting so diluted and watered down that they're just terrible. They're really bad. Who cares about an Extremebiite version of Carnage? It's like, what the hell is going on here? And it's the thing that I saw today or this week was this. I don't know if you guys saw this in Ghost Rider. Beautiful Ghost Rider covers this week on Ghost Rider. But this is Ghost Rider 13, and Danny Ketch is back in Ghost Rider. And they got Danny Ketch coming back out as a new Weapon X. And I kind of feel like what we're talking about in the movies kind of is the same thing that's going on in comics, where they can't come up with anything new. And they got to keep coming up with different versions of Weapon X, you know, Weapon 10, Weapon 100, you know, a different version of a symbiote, it's like, come on. And not only are they doing it here, they're doing it in DC also, where they did it with Superman, right? They did it with the Superman team. Let's see if I can find that right.
You know, problem is, honest to God, and I like some of the FOC stuff, but the problem is all these people outside of Ultra Maximus, they're cover buyers. They don't give a flinchman's fuck about what's inside the book. They see the cover that has Venom and Deadpool and or whatever it is, and that's what they buy. These FOC people, they copy and paste from the preview. They tell what artist is going to be on the cover, and then the books don't get read.
Yeah.
People are literally just buying comic books because of the cover. And this is the reason you get it. You get all these fucking amalgamation characters because the people aren't buying them to read them. They're buying them speculating on covers and covers only.
I'm glad you brought that up. Because that's why I really like Lefteros, is because he actually talks about what's in he talks about the covers, but he also talks about what's in the books. And you're right. You're right? Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. That we'll get into craziness. But he talks about what's in the books. And you're right, that's very important. There's very few people reading books. If you guys don't know, go check out Ultra Maximus. He does his Spec Matrix. I think he's back doing his Spec Matrix, which is good. Go check out. You can also find him on Drunken Chat. But again, we're getting to the problem where you can't come up with new characters. Like you gotta just rehash this old stuff, and it's getting tiring. It's really getting tiring.
Yeah,
I'll give this guy a follow then.
Yeah,
they just take two characters and just mash them together over and over again, right? I mean,
yes, exactly.
This is what now it's Ghost Rider as Weapon X.
Yeah,
I mean, just why? It's like, do they just have a thing that randomizes all the characters, and they're like, okay, let's do it.
Dude, I love that cover. I don't know if you guys saw that, but this week, Ghost Rider 12, that one, the Raza variant, there was another variant.
There's a
that wasn't a. It was a direct order, but it was sold out on all sites this morning before things got popular. It wasn't a ratio or whatever. Let me see if I can find it.
I got it right here.
I was looking for.
So this right here. This is the Raposa variant, and it is gorgeous.
That was sold out on My Comic Shop, Midtown, TFA, all the regular stores early this morning when they got posted.
Shout out to Funhouse.
I couldn't find one. I was trying hard.
That is hard. Yeah. I need that cover.
Yeah, there was a lot of great covers this week. And you brought up the mashing up of characters, Vinny. I don't know if people saw this too, but Cosmic Ghost Rider came out this week, right? And let me see if I can find that. Let's see here.
I have that in my read pile. I'm hesitantly excited. I liked where they were going with that Cosmic Ghost Rider until they put him in the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy for that extended period of time, and I thought it kind of tarnished.
Yeah,
that's nice,
dude. There was some really good covers for Ghost Rider characters. Look at this. This is the one. This is it's okay. I mean, that's decent, but man, there's some really good ones. Look at this one right here. This is the John Zhang variant. John Zhang's just amazing. But this I thought was really cool. They did a play on, and I, again, it's not a scene for scene homage. This is a good way of doing an homage, right? You're not just being lazy. You're making it look like the OG Punisher stuff, right? But it's different. You can tell it's like you got a little bit of a taste of the OG Punisher, but it's new art. It just looks so well done. This is very good. This is the
like everything except for the art is not well done.
Yeah,
like the trade dress and stuff.
Yeah.
It totally could have been better.
Yeah,
But yeah, the art is sick.
This is the Todd Knock, one of the few Todd Knock decent headshot ones. I mean, it's not great, but it's better than the normal ones he does. But again, these silly mashups that they're doing it's just getting so tiring, man. It's getting ridiculous. And one of the things that a lot of people talked about is that the big two can't come up with anything new. And this lets me segue into something you did this week, Vinny, and that is Comix Pro this last week, where you kind of get, hopefully, some of the new stuff that's coming out. Was there anything at Comix Pro that kind of made you go, wow, this is interesting, this is new and exciting?
I mean, I'll say, like, I heard a little bit of like news type of stuff, on the Marvel side of things. That was kind of cool. In terms of actual stories, I'm trying to think if there's what was like kind of cool. I mean, nothing like out of control, something different, I wouldn't say, but it was just cool hearing about what people are planning to do, what's upcoming, what's important to the different publishers. I know that they're building I know Kirkman's building another universe with his new book that's coming out. I forgot what it's called. They've got that going on. Marvel talked about a couple books that are going to be pretty important coming up here. I dropped it in Discord. If anybody wants to check that out. I know the other thing was I saw that music related books are like on the rise. Is it Vault? I think Vault is doing
Opus.
Was that?
Is it Opus or Vault?
No, I think Vault is doing a bunch. They have like a Metallica, Beach Boys, Def Leppard, a Redman comic book, a bunch of like stuff I wasn't really expecting. But I guess everybody's kind of noticing that people are interested in those mashups now. So saw a lot of that type of stuff. Ed Brubaker is dropping a new book. They had a sample of that over there. I love all of Ed Brubaker's stuff. I really was a big fan of like To Kill or Be Killed, or Kill or Be Killed. No, there was no two on it. But yeah, I mean, it was a cool event. It was just cool to kind of interact with the publishers, interact with the retailers, and just kind of see that side of it. Some of the creators were there, of course, like the cartoonist kayfabe guys were there. They had a really good
keynote
talk. Yeah, they were keynote speakers. Yep, they had a really interesting talk. I mean, they were really kind of talking about how they built this YouTube channel essentially as a way to promote themselves, and it worked, right? They've got like more than 500,000 subscribers, and
they're amazing, dude. Eddie P, great creator.
Yeah,
Jim Rugg, I like Jim Rugg too. So
it was a cool event. There were there's always some variants that take off from this also. I think the one that probably did the most was that Something is Killing the Children. Something is Killing Children is going for about $100.
I'm trying to find it.
Comics Pro, the Blue Book In Hyuk Lee variant, going for about $55. Power Rangers Ninja Turtles Perel variant, $50. And then Marvel had two books. They had a Nightcrawlers #1 by Pac Medina and a Hulk #12 Ryan Otley design variant. And then DC had their Superman #1 a variant as the retailer exclusive. So
very interesting. Yeah, man. I saw the blue book variant, and I'm hoping to finally to pick one of those up at some point. But it's very interesting. It's hard to find a site that gives you all like the news that's coming out, but there was a bunch of changes at the top and stuff, and a bunch of interesting news that's going on there. I did see this. This was kind of interesting. If anybody saw this, it talks about a new AI art book coming out, so we'll keep an eye on that.
I want that book.
Yeah,
I do want that book,
yeah.
And
this looks very interesting.
Yeah, man, play that, man. Let me see that.
This looks very interesting. This is something, and this comes off the news of the AI art getting a copyright news, them talking about copyright infringement and whether you're okay to do it and this and that. But man, this looks really, really good, and this is the first time seeing it for a lot of people at Comics Pro. So this kind of snuck in under the radar for a lot of people.
Man, I would love to see the. I know on Instagram they have the art, but you don't have to go to Instagram today. Like you could look. Oh, there it is. Yeah, like that.
Yeah,
I remember seeing that. Like that's like really cool.
I love that. Look at that. Ooh.
Yeah, man. Look at that.
This is by our boy Television, who was on our show. Actually.
Oh shit! This is by Tilla. Okay,
yeah, about a month ago.
Yeah, this is so dope, man. Look at that.
This looks amazing. So I'm going to play this right here, you guys. It was very interesting to see this. I'm doing research on Comics Pro, and this pops up, and I'm like, holy shit, no way. So here we go. This is for everybody to kind of check out.
I like to think of myself as an artist. It's not easy. It's always a challenge. In my own way, I keep on trying. Today, I found myself in front of an empty canvas, my favorite paintbrush in my hand. Inadequacy filled my chest. The canvas was pristine, white, beautiful in its emptiness. I dreaded the failure that might await me. I was filled with a feeling of helplessness. I have nothing to give. I have nothing to say. Overcome by despair, I clutch my brush. I stare into the canvas and begin to feel my body rising, swaying, falling forward into the void.
Badass, dude. Yeah, that's really good.
I like to think of myself
And
as an artist.
For those of you guys that are kind of wondering what it's about, you just heard what it's about. It's about finding inspiration as an artist and how hard it is to do sometimes, and where that inspiration comes from. So it's going to be very interesting to see what we get out of this. They did drop these books at Comics Pro, and we'll see.
I'm trying to get those, man. Vinny, please tell me you
I got you.
one of those.
I got you. Oh yeah.
So,
Man, or call Tilla and see if I can get one, bro. I'll pay for it. Like that is crazy. That is a dope ass book. But look, hold on. Side note, are y'all checking what's going on in the chat? Who is Uniform 13? Because he's like saying like some really crazy shit. I mean, I ain't trying to highlight it because I'm not that kind of guy. But I'm just saying, like, from the standpoint of, like, you know, he's saying some stuff like Mexicans this and black that, and we're not going to get away from the conversation, and America's, like, great, and there's no racism in America.
All I will say is Uniform 13 is a longtime community member, so he's been around for a long time, and you know, he basically said, let's see here. Talking about that stuff, it will never disappear or be a non-issue, but America is the best in every category, including race acceptance. So continue hating on it or anything said in a positive light, but that's the truth. And what it sounds like he's saying there is that, again, this is when it comes to you know, your rights and what we do, we're still the best in the world at doing it. So.
So what he said a little bit further up was, he said current administration and media use division, racism for everything. Real life in America is just like all the friends on this panel. There's no deep racism problem in the U.S. I can't agree with that as a black person that lives in the U.S. But okay, I mean, we can move on past that, but I can't agree with that. My son just got called.
Especially
on
that's
a
what I
bus.
say. Yeah, your son just got called the worst word he could be called. So.
On a bus. But that's not me to try to start no shit. I'm just saying I didn't know that once I started peeling the layers. I mean, we're gonna keep going because I don't want to touch that. But I can't agree with that statement when my child, a 12-year-old child that grew up in a predominantly white area that doesn't do anything to anybody, just get called something out by the color of his skin for no reason. No, there's a deeper issue that's there. And maybe it's not happening on your neck of the woods, but please don't say that it's not real. Because it's very real.
Yeah.
That's that. So let's move on.
All right. Continuing on with some news. Anything else from Comics Pro, Vinny, that was interesting?
I would say it would. Well, I had fun going out drinking.
Yeah,
with everybody and kind of hanging out. That was cool. I did get a chance to check out some of the stores out there in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is, man, they're full of awesome stores, dude. Like 50-cent and dollar bins full of, like, you know, old Golden Age books and all types of stuff like that. I wish I had more time to dig through some of that stuff. It was a little overwhelming. And the non-Comics Pro related thing that I did do was I got a chance to go to the Warhol Museum, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
He's actually he grew up in Pittsburgh. So I was like, I got to stop through and see this before I head out. So that was fun, man.
Yeah. All right. Another big news today is, of course, Mando being dropped today. And a lot of people talking about it, excited for season 3's premiere. And a lot of people are saying it's return to the status quo, AKA it's good material, good content, putting the spotlight back on Din Djarin and Grogu. The Mandalorian tries to refocus on what made it so beloved in the first place. And I think that's a good idea. I think season 2 kind of did that little side step with Boba Fett where, right? Didn't they kind of have that in season 2? Or am I mistaking Boba Fett season 1 where they did the side step for Mando? I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see how this season plays out. More of the Mando lore, which I thought was the best part. That was my favorite part about season 1 was the lore about Mandalorians and the Beskar armor. That was so cool, man. I always find lore like that to be the best, and it was very. I didn't like the part where they kind of like made him be such a pussy for taking off his helmet and stuff, and like how that was such a big deal, and it just changed everything so quick. And we'll get him coming back and being a badass again, hopefully in this one. So. For those of the people that saw it, what did you guys think? You give it an A, B, C, D?
I've heard nothing but great things.
I haven't seen it yet.
I want to watch it, but and I'm the type of person y'all can watch it and tell me if it's good or not. You can even tell me what's happening on there. Like, I'm good. Please don't for the people that don't want it to be spoiled for. But I've heard nothing but great things. Now, here's something odd though. I think I showed you, Brian McClay. I have a Mandalorian sketch card with actual Mandalorian took the mask off, and it's just, it's the dude from Last of Us that plays Mandalorian, Pando or whatever, Pascal or whatever his name is.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal. Do you know that PSA will not grade sketch cards? I did not know that. They will not grade my sketch cards. And I turned in all my Star Wars sketch cards. They turned them back in and said,
What?
We don't know. Yeah, they said, we don't know if the person that drew this is the person that actually drew it. So we can't.
I thought they have PSA DNA for that.
They won't. They didn't. They did not accept my sketch cards. So
They would grade a Gary V sketch card. I'm just saying, that doesn't make any sense.
Check, Sean. You good?
They will not grade my sketch card.
No, we can't hear Sean. Sean's been talking this whole time, and we thought we were being dicks to him, but his mic wasn't working.
Oh no!
Damn. He's gonna try and check it out and see if it's working.
Okay, thank you, Creed. I'll send it off to CGC because it literally they will not grade my sketch cards. I was so upset about it because like I actually have Mandalorian sketch card and I'm gonna go grab this other card. Like, I need somebody to tell me who this character is. It's a character. It's something with a bunch of teeth. I don't know. I don't follow Star Wars like that outside of just like Luke and Darth Vader and all the big names. I have no idea who this person is, so maybe y'all can tell me who it is.
Check.
Yeah. There you go, Mark.
There you go.
Sean, you're good.
All right, cool. Dude, I had like something on the last 3 topics, and I was like, Jesus, I can't get a word in, dude. Like, you even switched freaking topics on me while I was talking. I thought I was being courteous today.
We all collectively just were being dicks to you.
Fuck you all.
That's really funny.
All at the same time. Everybody keep Sean out the loop.
What do you have to say, Sean? Say it all right now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm not gonna go spoilery. I started thinking it was gonna sort of go one way, and they're encompassing multiple different stories, and so that's my favorite thing about it. That's really the simplest thing that I wanted to say. I enjoyed it. I like the Mandalore lore, like Bryan said, and I think they're gonna go back. But they're gonna go back. They're going back with that, and how they involve multiple different things, and they're gonna keep going. So I'm excited about that, and that's it. I don't want to do anything specific. I am looking forward to, obviously, we all know Gina Carano's coming back, so that's about it.
Yeah, it's very interesting because it is the shortest episode out of all the Disney Plus episodes that they've done. I think it was like 35 minutes or something like that. So that's kind of a bummer. We all wish they would be longer, but the way that they do these things is they basically cut up an 8-hour movie into, perfectly cut, chunks. So it's kind of a bummer that they're doing that. But that being said, there is some interesting things that's not getting too spoilery on it. People are saying that it is very slow paced, which is interesting. So being short and slow paced doesn't really help. But people are so stoked for it that it's just a good thing to have it back. Period. But this to me was the most interesting thing. Mandalorian Season 3 reveals Cara Dune's unexpected fate. And if, not giving too much away, basically he goes and talks with a Carl Weathers' character, and asks, they talk about Kara and what happened to her and why she's not around. She's basically out with the Republic Commandos. So she's still alive and she's still out there, which to me is good because this is a character they need to bring back. Like, they need to cancel culture and bring this character back because she was a beloved character, like very much beloved character, so much so that they were going to give her own show. So I really hope they do that.
Is that a Big Bertha or whatever? What it was? Who did she play before? She played on Deadpool, right? She was
Gina Carano.
Yeah. She was the chick, the super strong chick in Deadpool, the original movie.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I was going through a card collection that I picked up the other week, and it had the USFL cards in there, and her dad's card was in there. Her dad was a quarterback that played in the USFL. So it's kind of funny.
Right?
Yeah, and he
wasn't he a Cowboys quarterback?
He was a Cowboys backup quarterback too, but he started in the USFL. So and for Vegas, I believe. So that's why they're in Vegas. So I thought that was very interesting. But yeah, man. Ultra Maximus says, in story, the woke Disney execs won't rehire her. I really hope that changes, man. Maybe Kevin Feige will change that, because didn't Kevin Feige kind of have her back, or was that somebody else that had her back, if I remember correctly? I could be wrong. But we'll see what happens with that whole Kevin Feige taking over Disney thing. But yeah, Cankles, as Popcorn Culture says. Man, I was going through a magazine the other day, and it was showing her back in, was it International Fight League back in the day where they had the teams? And I think she was on one of the teams, and man, she looked damn good. She was about half the size, though. And she still looks good as a big woman, man. A bigger woman. She's not a big woman, a bigger woman. She looks damn good still. And she did very well for herself, learning how to act. I know she did that movie with, I think Daily Wire did a movie, a Western movie that she was in that got good praise. So we'll see. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of her acting, and hopefully that means more of her acting in Star Wars universe in the future, but we'll see. All right. Let's see here. A couple other things let me get into here. Let's get into some of the NFT news this week. Starting off with VCon. Speaking about Gary V, everybody's talking about Gary V in the chat, man. Gary V is back in the news with VCon 2023.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Featuring an opening night performance by Busta Rhymes. And attendees including Women and Weapons founders Sarah Bowman, Scooter Braun, Betty of Deadfellas, Deepak Chopra, and more. V Friends, this is the second year of V Friends. It'll kick off a 3-day super conference running May 18th through the 20th in Indianapolis at the White River State Park and Lucas Oil Stadium. VCon 2023 is the second annual NFT ticketed conference hosted by Vaynerchuk and V Friends. Throughout the event, VCon attendees have the opportunity to participate in programming, business, marketing, entrepreneurship, innovation, ideas, creativity, and competitions. A few key names is going to be, again, Betty of Deadfellas, Carly Riley, Overpriced, JPEGs, Chris Lyons, Shark Tank, Damon John, so that's FUBU. Let me see, Art Blocks founder, Jeff Staples, many more. Looking to get in. VCon 2023 tickets will be directly released to the wallet. So if you have a VFriend Series 1, you get a free ticket. Non-VFriend Series 1 holders can still attend the event by buying the ticket on the secondary market, such as OpenSea. It's going to be amazing. I think, Vinny, you went last year. How was it?
I did. It was really dope, man. It was a really cool conference, a really cool intersection of collectors from all spaces. You had card guys there, you had comics guys, you had NFT guys, you had fine artists, you had musicians, just everything. It was really cool. I'm going to be going again. Illmind was actually announced as a speaker again this year, so I'm looking forward to it. It'll be dope.
Hey, man, I plan on coming with you. You're going to put me in your suitcase. And I will tell Illmind to add +1. I'm coming this year to VCon with you guys. I will fly myself. Just put me in one of your rooms because I want to be there.
This is
it's good, man. It's a good show. Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting.
Don't tell me it's good. Get me a ticket, and we'll work it out.
Is there gonna be any sports cards stuff going on there? I wonder.
Supposedly, they said that Top Shot is supposed to be there, and they're doing something there. And I'm also hearing that Gary is a super NFL person, so it wouldn't be surprised to see some NFL stuff shaking at VCon as well. So
I will give a little alpha on from last year. Something that they said at the end of VCon 2022, and maybe people forgot about, was that there was some kind of airdrop or something that people who own the VCon tickets were going to get from 2022. So I don't know. They are 0.15 ETH, so they might still do something with them. This was literally one of the last things they said before we left. It was a talk with Gary and Snoop Dogg, and I think people just forgot about it after that point. So just throwing that out there.
Do you have one?
I don't, but this reminded me, so I'm probably gonna grab one.
I'm probably gonna grab one too after the show.
Yeah,
we'll jump on that.
Yeah.
Real quick, I got to bring this up because this is a funny story right here. Shout out to Richie. For those of you guys that don't know, I'm putting Richie on Front Street, but Richie is friends. Used to hang out a lot with who was the Huntington Beach bad boy? What was that dude's name? Tito. Yeah. So Richie used to hang out with Tito Ortiz a lot back in the day. And Richie says, one time in Vegas, I was hanging out with my boys, and Gina Carano and her friends met up with all of us at the Palms. She went back to our suite to party and play fight. That's when I spotted her cankles. So that's why he calls her cankles. So there we go. And then Sean's comment is even better to respond to that. I won't say it out loud, but I love... All right, moving on. Yeah, moving on. That was a classic
come on.
comment.
Prime Gina. Oh my Lord.
I'm with
Yes, sir.
Even now, Gina, man.
Woo-wee.
Next, we've got some live sports takeover at the geospatial web. What is the geospatial web?
So when you get a chance, go to fabric.space and show the family that, right? So that is the new way that people are going to be doing augmented reality in the middle of the game, right?
Ooh, yeah, I like this.
Yeah. So you can play that video and check that out. It's kind of self-explanatory. Right there, that video right there. Yep. All this is happening on your phone during the game.
While you're at the game?
While you're at the game.
Just more reasons not to watch the game on the field, I guess. That's interesting. You know, I always said that if sports, so NASCAR does something, I don't know if they still do it. You guys let me know if you're big into NASCAR. They used to do this thing where you could like order pay-per-view for a certain driver, and then you could listen in to their conversation with their pit crew, and which is amazing. And I always thought that if sports teams did that, like if hockey and football and baseball mic'd up all their players, which they could totally do, mics are small enough now, and we could pay an extra $10 per game to hear all of the different players chirp at each other and all that shit, I would totally be into that. Big time, man. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So
with Fabric, Fabric is the geospatial web platform. They spent the last 5 years developing what the platform is going to look like, right? It's a dependent real-time layer of immersive entertaining, and useful technology that's overlaid on both individual and collective reality. So it's happening on your cell phone. So you're at a game, they may give away a jersey if you have fabric. Answer a question, win a jersey, get a jersey on the way out. You'll be able to, order drinks while from the concession stand. Instead of having to walk to go get it, you can order it from your phone and bring it to you, so on, so on, so forth. So that's where it's getting ready to go, right? Fabric is leading the way with that, and that's probably something that's going to start happening probably within the next 6 months to a year.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see where they take that, man. There's a lot to jump on there. Next, EA.
Yeah, so the founder of EA, Trip Hawkins, joins a Web3 gaming startup. So now Trip Hawkins founded EA years ago. He was one of the main components of doing EA. He started working for a company called Games for a Living now, and they develop games based around NFT and blockchain-based tokens. The gaming startup was co-founded by Manel Sort, the former VP at Candy Crush. Got that? So the former VP at Candy Crush hooked up with the person who founded EA, and they created a startup called Games for a Living. And all they're doing is basing games around NFT and blockchain-based tokens. So that is getting ready to start rolling out. Pantera Capital just invested $10 million in the metaverse game World Wide Web, while other gaming franchises, including Final Fantasy developer Square Enix, announced this partnership with Polygon. More companies are starting to come over to NFT-based games, so you'll be able to play your character in the metaverse coming soon.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a big part of gaming. We've been talking about it for a while. We've been talking about it in the Discord as well. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, very interesting, man. There's a lot popping on that end.
I'm gonna also say this too, not to cut you off, Brian. I'm sorry.
You're good.
I was watching the MSNBC. I'm very educated, so I watch a lot of finance shows and things of that nature that makes me seem like I know what I'm talking about, but I actually don't understand shit. No, I'm just joking. But it was something that I saw that made a lot of sense. A lot of financial advisors and VC capital companies are starting to invest in Chat GPT like AI companies, right? Catch what I just said. Chat GPT like AI companies. And what the dude was saying, who was a president of a hedge fund, he was like, normally we meet with someone that has a bunch of money, and then we'll talk about how they need to diversify, put a plan of action together. He said, where it normally takes me 30 minutes to do that after I get off the phone with said person, this new AI that everybody in these financial sectors are chasing after, this new AI gets it done as soon as I hang up the phone with you. It prints out the plan and then sends them the plan, within like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So it's cutting their time in half. They're finding ways to utilize this new AI that's coming on board. This shit is happening at a breakneck speed, and it's all going to go back to like what we talk about before all the time: NFTs, Web3, AI. All of that is the new wave. So all I'm saying is that, man, DYOR, do your own research, find out what you like, and even more so than that, buckle up, because it's going to be a crazy ride. Shit is happening.
Yeah, I've been using it for my job, actually. It helps out. It cuts out hella time, man. So I'm all for it.
Yeah.
And it's free.
For now.
Yeah.
What are you? You're a cat wrangler. That's what your job is in real life, isn't it, Fur?
Yes, absolutely.
You would be surprised at the Web3 content with cat wrangling. It'd be there's a lot.
I've honestly laughed more this week because we have that automatic deal when anytime somebody uploads something, you get a Discord notification. And 5 times this week, I've got a Discord notification from Furrbird and Pickles, and I go look at it, and it's him and his cat, and I'm just like,
it's over. It's done. It's over.
No, I think it's funny. I'm going to think. I think he got some comic or some card spec, and it's him and his black cat. And I'm just like, all right.
I ain't gonna touch that. I don't know what's going on with him and his cat. I love it.
No, he's his pet cat. He videotapes it and uploads shit on YouTube. It's pretty entertaining, but it's funny because you think it's gonna be some comic shit, and it's not.
No, what is that time that we were watching? We were in the middle of a show, and like his other cat was behind him with a towel on her head, and she was, just coming out the shower. His wife was like, like I was like, man, he's the cat wrangler for real. Like he's wife walks by, we're like waving at her. She's like, "Oh God, I'm so embarrassed." Okay, bye. And she runs off.
She loved it. She's
amazing. Beautiful lady.
My sister was trying to come on the show too. I was like, "No, we don't need my sister's up in here either, man." Jesus.
Wait a minute, your sister's cute.
I got two older sisters, but they look. I mean, they look like they're younger than me. But we're not gonna talk about that. That's a different. No show. We're not talking about that.
Show them up, Ferg. Let me see him. Put my eyes on him, Ferg.
No.
All right. Next, let's get into one of the bigger stories this week in the collectibles news, and that is the Topps 2023 Industry Conference. Happened this week, put on by new owner Fanatics.
Wow.
Yeah. So out here in Phoenix, they do it every year out here in Phoenix. And as you guys know, Fanatics recently bought both Topps and Panini. So they had a bunch of interesting news this week, some not so good news, a couple of cool stories, but for the most part, I'll be honest, it wasn't good. It was not good. Let me get rid of that. Sorry, I apologize. All right, hold on here. What do we got going? Jesus, messing all this up. There we go. Some of the news that came out is Topps is getting rid of some of their sets. Good news is that they came out and they said we have too many sets out there, and this is something that we've been saying for a long time, that there is just way too much product out there. It's watered down, and they've announced that they're getting rid of a bunch of the sets, and the sets that they're getting rid of weren't the best decisions in a lot of people's minds. One of them being the opening day set, which, one of the things that we've talked about cards in the past is it's gotten so expensive that they can't, kids can't buy cards anymore. And that was the whole thing. Like being a kid growing up, going to the store, being able to get 3 packs of cards for $2 or whatever, card packs when I was a kid were Garbage Pail Kids packs were $0.25. So you could buy quite a bit of stuff at the corner store with a couple bucks. Your allowance or whatever. Mowing lawns and stuff like that. Kids can't do that anymore. One of the product lines that was specifically made for kids was Topps Opening Day, where you could get like a hobby box for like $35, and you were lucky that it had a couple of good hits in it, for a kid, and you could open up a lot of product for cheap. And it was just basically for the most part, they were the same cards that were in, or the same pictures of the cards that were in regular Topps product, the regular Topps release. With a couple few like kid inserts. They're getting rid of that. They're getting rid of Gallery, Topps Gallery, and Topps Gold Label, which were both sets from the late 90s that have been around for a long time that people love. They're getting rid of those. They're getting rid of Topps Fire, which was a retail-only product that was also easy for kids to get into. Getting rid of that. They're getting rid of Clearly Authentic and Bowman Chrome X, which were both 1 card per box product, which looked gorgeous, but really kind of a waste of money in my opinion and most people's opinions. And they're also getting rid of First Edition, which I think we've talked about on this show for a while, where First Edition just seems pointless and a money grab. It's basically Bowman with a little First Edition circle on it. And they were expensive as hell, like $750 for a box. And you can't get autographs. I mean, very few autographs and very few numbered cards. So it's kind of a bummer that they've chosen, to get rid of the kids product and not some of the other stuff. But, I like that they're kind of, paring down the sets. They need to do that. That's a big problem in the industry. There's too much stuff out there, and you don't get as much bang for your buck. So that's interesting. They're going to be doing new cards called First Stitch, which are patch cards of the very first jersey Fanatics creates for a new player. So you can now start seeing Fanatics putting new stuff into the cards based on their company. So that'll appear in Topps Update later this year. They are going to be doing something which is absolutely ridiculous. I think we talked about the huge amount of one-of-ones that are produced nowadays. There was like over 200 Wander Franco 101s produced last year. So many that it's undervalued, the 101s. And I get it. 101s are manufactured scarcity product to begin with. And that's kind of a bummer. A lot of people don't like manufactured scarcity, but if you knew there was only one of them, it was cool. It made it really cool and made super fractors really, really cool. But now they are adding new products to it called frozen fractors. And you guys are going to love this. I can't wait to hear your opinions on this. Frozen fractors are new cards that will be numbered 0 of 0 down to -5 of 0 with a frozen ice design. So what is the point of that? That is the dumbest thing. That might be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Like, you're doing
not
negative.
as bad as all those 101s.
Well, it's just adding 101s.
Imagine how you gonna get a rainbow now? No matter how much money you have, you can't get a rainbow.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Because somebody just won't give it up.
Yeah, you're right. But they're going to be doing negative cards now, a 0 of 0. How can you do that? That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand that. But and I've also heard people say that not only are they going to be doing negative up to -5, we'll soon be seeing up to -10 and up to -50 and all that type of stuff. So that's very interesting. They'll be doing retrofractors. This is kind of cool, but again, it's another money play, which are first Bowmans for players that played before they had first Bowmans. For example, Babe Ruth will be one of the players that will have a first Bowman, which is stupid in my opinion, but some people are going to like that. They're going to want to get those old players in their cards. I mean, it's cool for an insert, but I don't think it's something that is cool enough to announce on that big of a stage. Just seems like more of a money grab. Some of the cool things that they said that they are going to announce or that they're doing is they're going to be less focused on redemptions, which is a big deal. We all know the peril of opening old product and pulling out a redemption card that's expired, right? I did that.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, I did that in 2006. Wait, 2000 was Tom Brady's rookie year, right? I did that with 2000 SP Authentic. I bought a 2000 SP Authentic box because I really wanted. This was back before Brady was even playing, and it was when Chad Pennington was the hot quarterback, and I really wanted a Chad Pennington rookie. And this was like 2-3 years after the product had come out, and I bought. Shout out to Red Hood with the $4.99 super chat. I bought the box and I pulled a Chad Pennington redemption card. I was so pissed because I contacted Upper Deck and they're like, "Yeah, sorry, it's expired. It expired a couple months ago," and they would not give me the Chad Pennington card. So that made me hate redemptions back then.
You could have retired on it, too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I ended up buying one for like $5, 3 years later when he.
For the fuck of it.
Yeah, I think he went to the Cowboys or something like that. But a perfect example of why redemptions are so terrible is Dollar pulled a LaMelo Ball autographed redemption out of Flux basketball. And it turned out it's a 101. He just found that out last week. He didn't know it was a 101, but he found out it was a 101. So it turned out good in his favor. But LaMelo wasn't signing, and some players just never sign. They just don't think it's a big deal, so they'll never sign anything. And for the longest time, LaMelo wouldn't sign anything. So a lot of people that got LaMelo redemptions were thinking that they were never going to get their cards signed. Which is a bummer. So I think it's good that that Fanatic has decided to start doing that, because that means less redemptions in both products, which is a big deal. Redemptions suck, period. Another really cool thing this is cool to me. For those of you guys that don't know, there's football players that were drafted in baseball. I mean, we know the old school players like Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders, Bryan, Jordan. But other players have been drafted in baseball years before they even played college football. Players like Kyler Murray got drafted by the Oakland A's. Russell Wilson got drafted by the Rockies. And the GOAT, Tom Brady, was drafted in 1995 by the Montreal Expos. Well, they are going to be inserting in Bowman product, I think in Bowman draft, starting the next year's Bowman draft, autographed Montreal Expos Tom Brady cards, which is super cool to me. That's a cool thing. So hopefully we'll see, autographed Russell. Well, there's already autographed Russell Wilson cards, but autographed cards of other players that never got cards. Can you guys think of any other football players or basketball players that got drafted in baseball that never got a card?
Dave Winfield.
That's a good one. But he was the opposite, right?
He had a baseball. Yeah. He got drafted in football, baseball, and basketball. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Wow.
That would be cool. To see those. John Elway got drafted by the Yankees. He had a card, but it was a minor league card.
Minor league, right?
Yeah.
I think I might have mentioned this before, but I saw. I grew up in Richmond, Virginia, which we used to have the Braves over there, the Richmond Braves. So I used to go watch Deion Sanders when he was playing for that team. So that was cool.
Yeah, that would be cool, man.
Speaking of minor league, boys, these are the two fucking cards you need to be chasing. Jason Dominguez, he's lighting it up. And this is the one that people aren't talking enough about. Christian Encarnacion Strand from the Reds. Look what he's been doing to the baseball at the end of last year and this year. These are the two minor league baseball players you guys need to be looking very, very hard at. Jordan Walker for the Cardinals. Furge Boy, Callahan.
Corbin Carroll.
There's so many good young baseball players right now. And spring training is where speculators need to be paying attention. They need to be seeing that the guys that they collect, they need to be watching their at-bats, seeing what they're doing, all that stuff. If you're a baseball card collector, this is some of the best time in the world to be watching baseball, because you get to see the 17, 18, 19, and 20-year-old prospects getting at-bats against grade A pitching. You're able to tell the men from the boys right now. So
isn't it funny that everybody could have bought those Dominguez cards in the last year for a quarter of the price they were selling, and now they're going back up? I mean,
should I get mine graded?
Yeah,
I pulled a good amount of them.
Well, if you have any of the Mojos or the Sapphires, yes. I just pulled
shiny ones.
Yeah, the shiny ones. Yeah, those are the ones you want. The shiny.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
I put them in one touches. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, that's Sapphire. I was lucky enough to I got 3 Sapphires, and I have probably 20 Mojos, and that year was also the first year that they did the first edition. So be on the lookout for those first edition. Those might be worth picking up too. But
yeah, and if anybody's looking, I talked to Trey about this before, but Jason Dominguez's AA debut at Somerset. I got these for $72. I think there's one on eBay right now for $89. So if anybody's looking for the ticket debut, that's a cool one to get.
Not bad. Some of the non-sports cards information, they're coming out with a Dune set in Q4 that's going to correspond with the release of the new Dune movie. There's more Stranger Things cards coming. There's a new Naruto How do you say that, Trey? Naruto. Shippuden. Naruto Shippuden. Is that how you say it? Chrome cards coming in October, so that'll be interesting. And there's 10 Star Wars releases this year. Chrome in April, a new Sapphire Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary Edition in May, and the new first Topps flagship paper Star Wars set in years will be coming out too. They're going to release tennis cards. Topps Chrome Tennis is coming this year, followed by an even bigger release next year, and college NIL cards, more college NIL cards. There's the Bowman U that are already out that everybody's picking up and pulling all those quarterbacks out of. But they're also going to do NIL Bowman's Best and Inception. So that'll be very interesting. Let's see here. So that's about it for the news out of the industry summit, which as long as there was a couple of good things about them getting rid of the redemptions, I'm really good with that. They need to get rid of that stuff and killing some of the sets. I think they just killed the wrong sets. So we'll see what happens. But we'll definitely be keeping an eye on all the prospect news over the next couple weeks and injury news that's going to be coming out over the next couple weeks. So,
didn't a Dodger get injured recently this past week?
Gavin Lux. It's a shortstop.
Yeah.
Was it Gavin
shortstop.
Lux?
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was Lux or somebody else.
I think you're right.
Yeah. I hope that Wander really, really plays well this year. That he, maybe you guys speaking about Jason Dominguez, how you could have picked up those cards for cheap. Look at the price of Wander's cards. Wander's cards right now are super cheap compared to what they were. And, he could have a really killer year. He went through his sophomore slump. A lot of players do that, and they have the killer third year. Hopefully, Wander will have a great year, and it might be smart to start picking up those Wander cards. So be on the lookout for those also.
Nice.
I think that's about it for the Topps Summit. Let's get into Ferd's. Let's see here. I'll bring it up. Ferd, your 5 for 5. Let's do this.
All right. Let's do it.
Slides. Let's see here. Is this it, or is this last week's? This might be last week's. Let me check.
That's it's last week's.
Yeah, that's last week's. All right. Remove. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. All right. What'd you do it on this week?
I started off with Topps 22 logo refractor box.
Okay.
I started it off by smoking. Never mind.
I got the highest pitched voice ever.
Shout out to Uniform 13.
Absolutely.
I hate my voice. I kill my voice.
It is weird though. I guess prior to doing this podcast, anytime I would hear my voice on anything recorded, I hated it. It's gotten a little bit better after time.
No, it hasn't. It's lies.
Speaking of Jarrett Kelenic, he hit his 3rd home run of spring training today. For all you kids, I was talking about him last week. Yeah, dude.
That's awesome, dude. Why is it not letting me do this? Hold on. We're going to get into the matrix here, you guys. I apologize. Let's see here. Slides. Google Slides. Add Google Slides. There we go. Getting into the matrix. All right. You guys going to be doing any spring training games this year? You guys going into any spring training games?
No.
Last modified February 27th. Is that it?
Oh, I gotta say though, there's a
I think that's it.
Braves game on May 25th. I just saw a post about it today where they're giving away Outcast bobbleheads.
Oh,
that's hard.
Yeah,
you need to get your ass there.
They're like in a Cadillac. It's like the Cadillac with Andre 2000 and Big Boy.
Yeah, that's the playlistic Cadillac funky music. Yeah,
man, that looked really dope. I'm not gonna lie.
There we go.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, that's cool. All right, so this is kind of a recent. I know Yeezy and Rich put me on this logo fractor box. So it's a specific box for the logo refractor of the 2022 Topps product that came out late last year. So forgive me if I'm wrong, but like there's the border of these cards, it's a logo. So it's like straight up MLB logo across the whole entire card. They're beautiful cards. Obviously you have like the Wander Franco, Julio. I think Eli is in there, Bobby Witt Jr., O'Neal Cruz. All the rookies are in this box. They range from 220 to 250. And I figured, well, it's pretty hard to pull like the specific rookies or any of those guys, but like if you hold on to this box, this could be like $1,000 box in 5 to 10 years. If one of those guys hits, like if Julio becomes the face of baseball, like this is the, in my opinion, one of the good cards to get, and it's really high collectible box. And Brian, did you open a box of these?
I didn't open any logo fractor, but I agree with this. And you can interchange this with the Sapphire, right? The Sapphire set is the same thing. I don't know which is more rare, if the Sapphire has less printed than the logo fractors. So that's why I went so heavy on the Sapphire. I bought 10 boxes of the Sapphire, 10 or 12 boxes of the Sapphire, just to most likely put up in a closet somewhere because of this. Like you said, Wander, Julio, O'Neal Cruz, Witt Jr., Torkelson, Pena, C.J. Abrams. Who else? That's 7 right there. I mean, 7 players that could be, franchise players.
Right.
Suzuki and Quan, right? So there's 9 rookies that are awesome. But yeah, and Jake Berger, Jake Berger, Cal Rowley, it's a good year for that. It's a really good year for that.
Really good year.
Yeah. All right, next.
So we were talking about Hogwarts a little bit, I think, earlier today, and I've heard a lot of good stuff about this second game on the Switch from Zelda. It's the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I think it comes out fairly soon, or if it hasn't come out yet, because I saw pre-sales on this. But pre-sales I saw $250 to $299. If you follow the collector's editions of these games, I feel it's a good investment, especially if the game pops off, and you can still get in pretty cheap and maybe flip this one. Obviously, it's 5 for 5, so it might be a longer term investment too, especially if the game like pops off. So these sets are pretty cool.
Something just to keep in mind with these Switch games, I've mentioned before, but if you're looking for the earliest version or something, just check the barcode. It should say 00000 or 00100 on it. I think probably collector's edition, you're probably safe because I don't think they're going to do multiple prints of it, but just in case, it might be something to check if you're out buying this.
Nice. All right, next.
And so this came out, I want to say last year. I got a little bit echo. Sorry about that, guys. Star Wars Rebels trade paperback. I remember picking this up for like $30 to $40, and I thought it was a really cool collectible. It was. I got a couple of copies of this, and it's dipped a little bit this year. So I saw one for $20 actually earlier today. And my thought process with this was, so we got Mandalorian obviously coming out today, and I don't know when the Rebels are going to show up in live action, but I feel like it's only a matter of time until those characters show up in live action. And looking back, when they come out and you're looking back on this particular collectible, I think for $20 it's not a bad kind of like grade it or hold on to it and put it away for $20. I mean, it was a 1 per store variant. Again, it was coming out like stores were selling for like $50 online. I think at one time I saw like 100, which I thought was crazy. But for $20, man, like buy a couple copies, and it's a really clean collectible in my opinion. I haven't really seen anything comparable to it. Doesn't really mean anything, but I just thought it was a really clean collectible to get at a really, really decent price.
Yeah, I remember this was super hot for a while there. Buy on the dip.
On the dip. So magazines, I really dig this magazine collectibles deal. We brought in a dude into the Discord, sports magazine collector. I actually was communicating with him last year, kind of like late October, about kind of his knowledge about magazines, and he kind of put me on Slam magazines, and then I kind of put that in the Discord or whatnot. But so this particular issue, I forgot what year it came out, but it's Slam magazine, obviously, and it's Donda. So Kanye's unaccredited high school. He's right in the middle of the cover too. So with all the controversy stuff that Kanye's has in his back pocket or whatever, and this being the first cover on Slam of Kanye for $12. It's a black cover, so it's kind of tough to get in high grade. But I bought 3 copies of this for $12 total the other day. And I was
Is that his mom's name also, right?
It's great. It's his mom. It's named after his mom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Isn't he supposed to re-sign with Adidas also? I heard that.
To sell the remaining stock, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a bunch of people got pulled. Like a bunch of famous children got pulled from the school. Kind of when controversy was going down last year. So I don't really know what the status of the school is right now, but I just thought it was a kind of a cool collectible to get.
Yeah, if any of those kids take off, it just adds to it.
Right.
So, all right, next.
And this was kind of a high buy-in. I didn't feel totally comfortable about recommending this, but I just thought, so out of all the characters of last year movies, in my personal opinion, Black Panther Wakanda Forever was the best movie and had one of the most interesting characters for like the longer term. So if Namor does keep his popularity and you're looking back at Steelbook 4Ks that are not in high print anymore, and you kind of want to gamble on like a really cool collectible that's like really done well, like art wise. There's 2 different versions of this. So I picked the Namor cover just because I thought Namor was a really cool character. But these range from around, it's really weird. It's like some sales go for 100 and some go for 2. I don't know if it's like buy it nows or best offer price, but like that cover just pops in my opinion. And buy one copy, grade it, and see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
Does look really good. I still love the character, the design of the character. I thought he was the best thing Marvel has done in years. They kind of messed up with the storyline. I felt like at the end it was a little choppy and kind of made it weird. The writing wasn't as good, but I understand why. They kind of had to change everything. But yeah, great character, and I hope that we see more of that character going forward. We'll see. Maybe he gets his own TV show. So. All right, let's get into the market report. Starting off with Ferd's 3 picks this week. And here we go.
So I was talking to my cousin. He's 26. And I was like, dude, what did you used to watch when you were a kid or whatever? And he was all into Blue's Clues. And so I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Like, I was Sesame Street, he was Blue's Clues, but I thought this was really interesting. So a bunch of these Blue's Clues VHSs that are sealed, they go for like $50 to $100. This is just one I picked out, but I don't know that too much about it, but that's why I picked that one. This Build-A-Bear, Choco Cat, and Keroppi, they're part of the Hello Kitty they're like Hello Kitty homies. Limited edition in 2010. Went for $1,000, and that's consistent with a lot, so that's crazy. And then kind of harping back to my times, but kind of going with current trends. Funko Pop Sesame Street Ernie went for $800, but it doesn't really look like an Ernie. It's kind of weird looking, but anyway. So this is just like childhood memories.
Those pretty fun.
This is one thing I've noticed. Like, y'all are watching Sesame Street and Blue's Clues. We were watching fucking Thundercats, G.I. Joe, Mask. We were fucking learning how to kill terrorists and shit, and you guys were playing with blue dogs.
We were playing
purple dinosaurs.
We had Centurions and
Teletubbies,
Voltron.
I'll never forget one time when I was like 6 years old. I told my dad I loved him and to watch out for Cobra Commander because I thought that motherfucker was out there killing people for real.
Y'all remember that? Remember that show, Cops?
Oh yeah, I used to love Cops. It was
kids cartoon. One of the characters' names.
Yeah, they'd be talking, and then it'd be like, we caught the assailant, and slow down. Where you going? What are you doing? Hey, get him! Get him! No, you wouldn't even see the head. It was just you wouldn't even see the head.
Oh man,
that was perfect. Oh my god.
Oh god, yeah, you had to love Cops, man. Cops was amazing. Bad boys, what you gonna do? Let me go. I know I can't speak, reggae.
Oh, I was talking about the cartoon.
Oh, the cartoon, yeah.
No, I was talking about there was no cartoon called Cops.
Yeah, there was.
I was waiting. I didn't know if Marcus was joking or not, but I was looking at
I
Vinny's
just
face
let him
the whole
go.
time.
I just let him go, man.
There was a cartoon called Cops.
Yeah, one of the characters was named Misdemeanor, and it was like a. It was
the black cop dude. He was the chief, right? It was a black dude or something. Yeah. Did anybody watch that over there? No, we didn't watch that. We my bad boys. What you gonna do? Yeah,
it took place in the year 2020. Brandon Big Boss Babel and his gang of crooks are causing crime to run rampant in Empire City. Enough for Empire City
Wait a
Police
minute.
Department
Hold
to be
on.
unable
Damn
to
it,
stop
Brian
him.
McClay. Wait. How y'all just gonna let me just carry on with this and not stop me?
I had no idea what you were
bro.
You were singing, doing reggae shit. We aren't going to cut that off.
I was doing reggae and everything. I was giving you the best of me.
That's the only. I was like, maybe I forgot the show. I was like, okay. I was like, I'm sure he remembers it vividly. And then when you started doing the song, I was like, okay, he's talking about the other cops.
Oh, when he got up and was like, oh man,
when I did the run. The run should have told you.
That took me back a little
on.
bit.
Yeah.
That took me back. Yeah.
See, that's fucked up about Sesame Street. Oscar, does he still live in the trash can, or did they move him out because they said it was too much? He was portraying homeless people. Dead ass serious. Is he still in the trash can?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't think he's in the trash can anymore. I think you're right.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like Snuffleupagus and all the cool characters, they fucking just ruined them. Fucking Elmo, all that shit. The Sesame Street we watched and when we were kids in the 80s is not the Sesame Street that's getting put out today.
Yeah.
Elmo was from New Jersey because he couldn't say balsamic vinegar. Have you ever heard Elmo say balsamic vinegar? Elmo was like, yeah, you cooked that balsamic vinegar. Like it was like he was just like he couldn't say balsamic vinegar. Like that was a wholesome. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Yeah. He's from Jersey. Elmo's from Jersey. Bert and Ernie were, live in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the brow too.
Yeah.
The brow.
Yeah. Whatever.
All right. Trey, I texted you about this a couple days ago, but music sheet, music, specifically the video games. I went down a deep rabbit hole, but like who plays a piano anymore? And if you are playing piano, who's buying video game sheet music? I thought this was kind of cool. So you got a couple. You got Final Fantasy. I think that's 5, and then Panzer Dragoon. I guess remember that video game, and then Chrono Cross. Kind of right in range there.
I will say I'm one of those people, but
but
whatever.
I mean, there's not that many. I mean, I'd be down to get one of these and start playing on the piano.
Can you play?
Man,
piano?
this music from Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger were so freaking cool, man. It was incredible.
Yeah, a lot of people play those in the background of their streams, the video game soundtracks and stuff. Yeah, very cool. All right, and finally, this one I loved, man. This one I wish I had.
Yeah, so kind of sealed collectors editions of video games, and I had to throw in the Terminator 2, Judgment Day, Endo Arm. Everybody wants that. But yeah, basically these are what these are. Kind of cool.
The World of Warcraft.
How did I not know about that? I'm so mad I didn't know about this collector's edition of World of Warcraft. I literally have an eBay search I've been looking at for a year on this PC version, and I think I've scrolled by this version multiple times.
I have
looking for. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, brother. I apologize.
I was just saying I was looking for the version with the stickers that say 5 million sold, 8 million, 9 million. I didn't even realize there was like a early collector's edition of this. Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm sick.
The
That's
World of
crazy,
Warcraft
though.
collector's edition are beefy, man. They're massive, dude. They
Yeah, I
take
bet.
up like the size of like 2 absolute editions, and they're badass. They come with music CD. They come with a badass book. They come with the game, and they all came with special in-game pets and items, right? So everybody bought them, but now they don't even make physical copies of them anymore, I don't think. I have all the collector's edition from Burning Crusade up, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Thank you.
All right, next, some interesting raw book sales. A X-23 #1, the Gabriel Del Auto variant, 1 in 25, sold for $760. Beautiful cover, one of the OGs, the greatest variants of all time there. And then the Black Panther #1, J. Scott Campbell. I'm bummed Trey just left. I was gonna add, there was a book in here that I was gonna ask him if he picked up, but I'll find out later. Black Panther #1, the J. Scott Campbell Con variant, which is one of the greatest variants of all time, for $740. I would love to see condition on that. And then Deadline #1 from Great Britain, the first appearance of Tank Girl. Amazing magazine right there. So what do you guys think of these? That Black Panther one is awesome.
I was actually bidding on the X-23 book. I didn't think it was going to go that high. There's a little bit of a tick at the top left corner. I don't know if it's pressable, but I was shocked.
Wow. Did you see any of these, Sean? Oh, your freaking shit's not working again, bro. Unplug and plug in. There we go. Now unmute yourself. There you go.
I've been selling more than buying, so I haven't done as much searching, unfortunately. So the good and the bad is all this is I didn't spend $1,500 on these 2 books.
Yeah,
but because I would have, I'd be like $1,500 for the both. I'll be like, yep, let's work this out.
Yeah. And to be honest, that Deadline #1 is super cheap for less than $300.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That was like an $800 raw book for a while. So
yeah, it's impossible.
Literally
impossible.
Spiru,
what's going on with Tank Girl? Somebody's doing like a remake or something like that.
I haven't heard that. Is that the case?
I didn't see what it was. Somebody was posting, and stores at least doing like a freaking facsimile, some sort of it, like a store variant of it. But I'm not sure if there's a reason for it. If that makes sense. It was in the Discord today. I don't remember where or what. I didn't click through. I don't think I clicked through. I'm not sure.
Wow.
So I don't know.
That would be awesome. Even though
they're gonna remake it with the cards so people can have it or something like that. Like not that one, but the Tank Girl one.
Yeah. I had the biggest crush on Lori. What's her name in that first movie? Man, she was so hot back then. The girl that played Tank Girl.
Lori Petty.
Lori Petty.
Oh, yeah, the blonde hair chick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Point Break, dude.
Yeah, Point Break in that movie, man. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Point Break. Right here.
Yep. There you go. Next, we've got Spiro number 1071 and 1072, the first full and first cover appearance of the Smurfs from 1958, French comic books, sold for $304. Vinny, you should have been all over that, bro.
I actually bought a couple of them over the years. Yeah,
Okay.
no, I've been on this for a minute. There were actually a few different versions of this book. Where did it say this one's from? This was from Belgium, right?
Yeah.
Or France.
I said France, but it's Belgium, right? I thought it was France.
No, there's one. Well, there was one published in France, I believe, and one in Belgium. So they right around the same time. So there are 2 different versions of it, if I remember correctly. So.
Wow. DT says you're right, Sean. It's a Kickstarter for
okay.
Tank Girl.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. United Comics number 21. First appearance of the Peanuts in comics from 1952. I didn't know about that one.
Tied for with the Tip Top.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Yep. It's tied. Yeah. Both books.
Yeah, nobody can figure it out. So So anyway, that's a spectacular price.
Yeah, $461.
That book doesn't come up, dude.
That's so low. Yeah, that's so low.
Yeah.
I've never seen that book. And then how about a Superman book signed by Jerry Siegel? This is a Dynamic Forces signed Reign of Superman era book, number 82, sold for $300, signed by Jerry Siegel. So pretty interesting. All right, next we have, this blew me away, Batman Harley Quinn number 1, the Alex Ross prestige format book, Raw, sold for almost $300. Holy shit. That's ridiculous, man. I didn't know that book was that expensive right now. And
Miss you get 98 for like 400 or 350.
Yeah. Maybe they're more now. Who knows? Miss America Magazine Volume 1, Number 2. This is a famous book, and we talked about it multiple times over the years on Flipside, and recently talked about it on House of Stein. They changed this into a magazine, and I think it was the only issue, right? So, yep. And this is raw and terrible condition, sold for $13.75.
Yeah, so this one I found this book also at a local show here in Atlanta. I've been looking for it. This is impossible to find. So even seeing it listed here and it's selling for $1,400 is crazy. Yeah. Like, I mean, these never come up. I spent a lot of time searching for this book, and I just never see it.
Yeah.
So
Spider-Man.
That's cool to see. That's first Patsy Walker.
Yeah.
Patsy Walker. That's what I was trying to think. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2099, the Toy Biz variant, 9.6, signed by Leonardi, sold for $560. Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is pretty low. I feel like that's low. A 9.6 for that book is so tough. To see anything above a 9, I think, is tough. But man, what a great book.
Yeah.
All right, next we have Edge of Spider-Verse number 2, a 9.6 Greg Land variant, signed and sketched by Latour, sold for $3,200 on 40 bids. It's a CBCS. A CGC 9.8 Shazam Special Edition number 1. I didn't know about this book. Either I did and I forgot about it, or I never knew about it. It was a promotional book given out in the theaters when the movie came out. Signed by Zachary Levi, sold for just under $500, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And Action Comics 1051, the Warren Lau Power Girl Virgin variant in a 9.8, sold for $300.
That's a good buy.
Yeah, it's a great book. Great cover. The Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Imagineering variant number 1 in a 9.2, sold for just under $1,300. Tough book. And then Ultimate Fallout 4 Djurjevic 8.5, sold for $3,500, which is low, right? That's real low. I want to see like a 9.
That's not that low for 8.5.
No. I want to say 9s were selling for like $9,000 at one point, weren't they?
Yeah, I don't know. When the market was even hotter, I sold a raw in that range for maybe $3,000 or something like that. Probably should have just created it anyway, but whatever.
A 9.8 DC Comics Presents 47 first appearance of He-Man, sold for just under $1,300 at $1,275. So it's pretty nice for that book. Next, we've got a Secret Invasion number 5, Rocket Raccoon Game of Death, signed by Bradley Cooper and Greg Horn, sold for $1,700. Wonder Woman number 781. What's SWAU? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. SWAU variant, signed.
It's probably the con or the event.
Okay.
Yeah.
signed by Gal Gadot, $7.75. And then this is the book I wanted to ask Trey about. This is the book that he's been talking about trying to pick up for years. One of my favorite all-time books, G.I. Joe number 21, the Volume 2 G.I. Joe variant by Michael Turner, the silver foil Renegar edition, sold for $1,159 in a 9.8. Tough book. Hopefully he picked that up. Hopefully that was Trey that won that.
We'd know.
You think so? Yeah.
For sure, dude.
CGC 9.8 of the Scarlet Witch JTC variant, signed by Elizabeth Olsen, sold for $631 in a 9.8. That looks damn good with that yellow signature in the yellow label.
Yes. Looks really good.
Yeah. So good idea to start, pairing the colors with the labels. That's a great idea. And then a Pop Kill number 4, the original Hughes Kickstarter variant in a 9.8, sold for just under $1,000 at $987. So, the Sergeant Slaughter mail away wrestling figure from 1987, new in sealed package, sold for just under $1,400. You guys, we talked.
Awesome.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. I've never seen that ever. A raw one or a loose one in terrible condition sold for a grip, and now a sealed package one sold for even more. So, cool figure.
Nice.
Battle Beast, a lot of 12 figures with weapons, sold for $868. You guys, for 12 figures, that is crazy, man.
Crazy.
Yeah. Those were my favorite
Crazy.
as a kid, dude. I love those things so much. Originally, you guys, those were Transformers figures. They were put out in Japan as Transformers figures.
Yep.
And when they brought them over here to the United States, they decided to change them. That's why the little heat-activated things on their chests are there, because originally they were, Decepticons or what's the other one? Something Autobots. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Ultra screaming at the screen right now. Instead of Autobots or Decepticons, they're wood, fire, earth, water, or something like that. So, and then the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive PS4 Spider-Man minifigure Lego minifigure is.
I had this.
Did you?
I had this. I had it. Sold it.
So rare.
Held on to it.
Yeah, super rare. Sold for $1,800 Canadian. We've seen those things sell for a ridiculous amount in the past.
Just goes to show that you can't sell anything, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
My favorite all-time GI Joe vehicle is the Rattler, and I've always loved the Rattler because and I've always loved the A-10 Warthog, the Thunderbolt. It's my favorite jet too, the tank killer, because the Rattler and the A-10 look alike. But this is the Tiger Force version of the Rattler, called the Tiger Rat, that came out in 1988. New in box, sold for $1,500 on 45 bids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Beautiful, beautiful toy right there. One of my greatest memories as a kid was my birthday one year, and when you walked into my house as a kid, there was 2 coat closets right as you walked in on the left, and my parents had put a toy in one and a toy in the other, and they told me for my birthday, you can open up one of the coat closets, and that's your birthday present, and the other one we'll give you for Christmas. And I opened it up, and in the one I opened was the Rattler. And it's just, I love those nostalgic memories that you have that make us want to go buy these as adults. I think that's what really fuels these shows and fuels our collecting habits, memories as a kid like that. All right, some Ninja Turtle stuff. A loose Undercover Dawn action figure sold for $1,425 Australian. And these are cool, you guys. 2 first shot prototypes, one of Michelangelo and one of Donatello, graded AFA 85 and AFA 80, both sold this week. The Donatello sold for just over 1,000 and the Michelangelo just over 1,100. Super rare figures.
Bryan.
And Vinny, if you remember, at San Diego, our boy, what's his name? Who got the
I forgot who.
Yeah.
I forgot who it was who bought it, but it was one of the OA collectors. He bought one of these prototypes from, I guess, the person who made the actual toy, who was there. He had it sitting there, so it's pretty sick.
And you can actually see that in an old episode. I played the video of him walking out with the figure. It was probably the buy of the show, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And another great turtle collectible. This is the 2008 San Diego Comic-Con NECA exclusive Mouser figures. Sold for $354. How about this? 1987 Tiger Sharks Bronc action figure sealed mint on card with the seahorses. Sold for $1,600, you guys. I've never even seen that. Sold for $1,600. And then this sale of the Storm Shadow goes to show you how much you get more for a very bright white Storm Shadow. They yellow over time, and the super bright white ones sell for a premium. This is loose with the figures. The bow isn't broken. You usually see that bow, it's broken on the string side. And then it came with a peach file card, sold for $305 loose. Pretty awesome. My second favorite G.I. Joe figure of all time right there.
After Snake Eyes?
Yep. Amen. Specifically Snake Eyes version 2. Yes. Yeah. This is cool, you guys. 1978 Bob Marley Swedish card. They calling it a rookie. It sold for almost $700. So pretty cool.
That's cool.
A Death Row Records promo kit, press kit, with Dr. Dre photo in it, black and white photo in it, sold for $442. And then one of the most famous rock and roll music posters of all time is this Grateful Dead Skeleton and Roses Avalon Ballroom poster, and one sold for just under $500. All right. And then finally, we got a couple more here that are interesting. Let's get these going here. Okay. There we go. Let's go here and here. Okay. Next, we have got a Nintendo Power. This is the first Nintendo Power, not the sample, but the regular issue. Sold this week. It's in pretty bad condition, but everything is there, including the poster and the inserts. But the cool thing about this is it has the letter with it from the fan club telling them, hey, here it is. You asked for it, a bigger magazine, yada, yada, yada. So that was the cool thing. It came with the letter, which is very, very cool. Yeah. This sold for just under $200, you guys. So crazy. This is interesting. I don't know what this is. I've never seen this. Vintage DC Comics Kenner Superpowers collection with the Dark Side mini comic from Burger King. Check this out.
What the heck?
That's wow.
It's really small. You guys can see how small it is. It's tiny. You guys ever see any of these?
Oh gosh, yeah.
I mean, I've seen stuff like this, but I've never seen stuff like this go for so much money. It's crazy.
$831, you guys.
Because there's like a set of Pizza Hut Marvel comics like this that I found like in a dollar bin a few months ago, and I picked them up. But I always think this stuff is cool, like these kind of like sponsored books, because you don't know what the circulation is, and you don't know who actually kept the things.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Dude, super, super cool stuff, man. So this is the type of stuff that I love seeing out there. It's my favorite. So very, very cool. Speaking of the superpowers stuff, one of the interesting things that I saw this week on IG was this. This is from our favorite grading company, CAS Grading. This is the super rare cyborg superpowers figure. Look how beautiful that looks. This is another great childhood memory that I had, where my uncle took me on the Greyhound or the Phoenix bus system up to Metro Center Mall as a kid when I first moved to Phoenix when I was 5 years old, and took me into the Lionel or the Toys R Us or the whatever it was, and bought me this action figure. Little did I know back then this is one of the rarest ones in the set and sell for a grip of money. So super, super rare figure right there. Very, very cool stuff. Again, those old school nostalgic things are amazing. Speaking of promo cards, one of our favorite community members here on Beyond Wednesdays and all the in the comic community is Major Issues Comics. He posted something that is absolutely amazing. If you remember, we showed a promo set a few weeks ago, unopened. It was a Warner Brothers promo set of cards that I had never seen, I'd never heard of, that went unopened. It went for some ungodly amount. On the front was some music artist we had never heard of. We didn't know what was in the middle. They were yellow, not blue. Well, Major Issues posted this the other day. This is his favorite band of all time, the Talking Heads, and this is one of those rare 1979 Warner Brothers promo cards. Look how beautiful that is. So rare. I couldn't imagine how rare this is. And Major Issues is in the chat right now. Let us know, man, how rare these are. And if you don't mind us asking, how'd you find it and what did you pay for it? I would love to know more about this set. And if you know what other bands or musical acts are in this set. Super, super rare information, or super, super rare collectibles right there. All right. Next. Spider-Man. I've never seen this. This is Torment. This is a Mexican issue. This is a 9/8 signed by McFarland, and it's a foil edition. And look at the eyes. They're foil.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What year is this from?
It says Marvel presents Mexican edition from, I don't know, 2022.
2022, yeah.
Yeah. So really crazy, kind of like the Platinum, but foil. Foil. $405 for a 9/8.
Probably a tough ass 9/8 also.
Yeah.
Much less getting signed.
Amen. And then finally, this is interesting. This is 6 times signed Star Wars Solo #1 photo variant, signed by the cast, including Emilia Clarke. As you can see, it's signed by the guy that played Han Solo and a bunch others, Sam Witwer, Paul Bettany, Ray Park, and Warwick Davies, and Emilia Clarke. Sold for $2,100. That's absolutely crazy. So be on the lookout for that. And then this is Ant-Man, a 9/8 CGC, signed 6 times by Stan Lee, Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Anthony Mackie, Haley Atwell, Chris Evans, Sebastian Stan.
Oh my God.
Michael Pena. Sold for $4,550.
Yeah. You wonder too, with all those guys handling it, still getting a 9/8.
Oh,
it's called bullshit.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Yeah. And then finally, a book that I don't remember. G.I. Joe Real American Hero number 152, the 30th anniversary. I don't remember this cover for some reason.
No.
I don't know why. I just don't remember this cover. And
it's a cool cover.
Yeah. But yeah, sold for $304 in a 9/8. And third to last issue, right? So Major Issues says in that set is a Prince rookie. Holy cow, you guys.
Nice.
That card has got to be worth a ridiculous amount. A Prince rookie in that set? Oh my gosh. Finally, I want to talk about this. Eerie Magazine, number 32. This is cool. Check this out, you guys. This is the proof cover, the original cover page, and it is straight from Warren Archives. Look at this. It's the proof cover.
That is awesome.
Cool.
That's
Yeah.
insane, dude.
I love it.
Yep. Beautiful art. Look at that, man. Sold for $355, you guys.
Nice.
Yeah. So that is the market report for March 1st, 2023. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, you guys. I appreciate everybody that joined us in the live. 86 live till the end. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button. Let us know what you think of the show. Any constructive criticism we would love to have. And also, you guys, make sure to check out the Discords. Links are below. We'll see you guys next time. Adios.